Welcome back to the It's Bigger Than Me podcast. I'm your host, Molly Trotter Gomez. I have such a treat for you today. Miss Cynthia Blackwell is just an absolute delight. Per usual, most of my guests, I just find them online. I just happen to come across their profile somewhere, LinkedIn for Cynthia specifically. And I really just loved what it is that she was doing, what she was about. And that's all I need in order to open up a conversation. And it wasn't too far into our conversation where I just knew. I was like, Cynthia, you would be a great guest on this podcast because there are so many things about you, from vision, creating simple roadmaps to help people scale, to being aligned with your core priorities. Gosh, I could go on and on with so many things that I love what it is that you talk about. And I know we definitely have a great just focus for our conversation today. But before we dive into the meat of this, I would love for you to introduce yourself so the people that are listening or watching can get to know you a little bit better with your background, and then we will dive right in.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, first off, thank you very much. It's been wonderful meeting you and getting to know you and following your content. And by the way, everyone who's watching and listening, we are sisters in the Networking Butterfly Club because when the pandemic hit, I am such an outgoing personality that I dove right into LinkedIn and I love LinkedIn. I get to meet so many people. So y'all that are listening, if you haven't tried it, you definitely need to try it. You will meet some very interesting people, hence why I'm here today. So, hi everyone, I'm Cynthia Blackwell. I'm the author of The Magical Power of Three, A Roadmap to Success, Wealth, and Happiness. I am also a serial entrepreneur. I have three businesses right now, one of them with my husband, my best friend, and president and founder of my fan club of 35 years now. We have, personally speaking, we have six adult children, 11 grandchildren. I was raised Catholic, and so I am also Hispanic. And so the bigger the family, it's all about the family anyway. Bring it on. I founded my first business, Black Rain Partners. It was a business consulting firm about 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. I have partnered with three amazing women. All three of them, I believe I've left them in a better place with, additional experiences and knowledge that have helped propel them in their careers, because I can certainly say that about them. And so I share that with you merely because having six children, three times two, three incredible business partners. I have three sisters. I'm originally from Texas. I speak Spanglish or Tex-Mex. I speak really fast, so I'm sitting on my hands right now, so then that way I can carry a coherent conversation with you and answer that question with some, yeah, a complete sentence. So that's me in a nutshell. I live in Florida and I love it. We have 6 acres. We have at one point had six dogs. My beautiful bull mastiff went to doggy heaven a couple of years ago, and so my husband said, "No more dogs," and so we haven't added to the clan. But at any rate, that's a little bit about me.
I love it. Well, Cynthia, I'm actually just like, how do you do it sitting on your hands? I am so like, I move my hands all the time when I talk. So that takes some
Oh,
discipline
good.
right
Now I
there.
have permission.
It's so hard. It's like if you're, I mean, I've tried it and I'm like, I last about 3 seconds and then it's like, it's a no for me. I can't do it. But I love hearing the background and just the passion that comes out. And, congratulations on your book. There's so much value that's in that. And I know we'll have all the information
Thank
in the show
you.
notes for people to go check that out. But as we are nearing the end of 2025, there's a lot of things on people's minds. They're thinking, we're going into the holiday season. Really, actually, it's here as we're recording this. This is happening. And then it's like, what am I doing for 2026? There's all these things that kind of come on us, and we're like, what do we pay attention to? What's first? And I know one of the things that I love that you talk about, and it's a huge bullet point for myself, my clients as well, is simplicity scales. People can be complex in our personal lives, in our business, in all areas, but simplicity scales in all areas as well. And I would love to maybe we just start here and see where this flows because I think some people are like, is that even possible? Can I keep things simple? And so I would love to pick your brain on that because you have cracked the code on this. And I know you help a lot of people with this.
Yes. Well, at first, let's start with business, okay? In business, as an entrepreneur or an executive within the leadership team, right now they're already having those conversations about either metrics because they completed the 3 to 5 year strategic plan last year. See there, you gave me permission with the hands. Here we go. Um, or we're in the process now of having those tough conversations and scheduling those times to sit down and brainstorm about how might we and what does the future look like. And so what ends up happening, one of two things. We either plan to fail because we failed to plan, or we plan and it's so complex and we put so much time and energy that it's this great big thick notebook that goes up on the shelf. And from time to time, we'll pull it down and go, oh, to measure.
Mhm.
Oh, well, we didn't really do any of that. Did you do any of that? We didn't really do any of that. Or they pull it down as from the dust, right? Or third, really, um, we do a little bit of it, but we're not consistent with it. We talk a lot about it, but we really don't take any action, or we take a little bit of action. And so those are the three examples. And so again, when we don't have a plan, it's like getting in the car to head over to grandma's house or wherever we're going to head over. We're getting in the car with purpose, with intention and with purpose. And, there's a strategy behind it, right? We're taking these actions and we're taking these steps to move forward. And what have found in both personally for myself, see, been there, done that, get it, I've lived it, especially now that I'm 59. Yes,
Well, you
I'm
look
flirting hot and
amazing for
heavy with 60.
59.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not that typical grandma. That's what I tell my kids. I have this shirt that says, I'm that Mimi, hashtag sorry, not sorry. But at any rate, back to that roadmap and that strategic plan and what you said, uh, simplicity scales. See, these people think that a successful plan or to be successful, we have to have this complexity, right? It's, a sophistication and complexity. No, no. The simpler the approach, the faster you're going to propel forward one. And then the simpler it is, we compound that energy and
Yes.
we compound the effects or the results. And so it's like going to the gym or working out and taking care of our body. If we have some sort of physical activity, which by the way, our morning routine, very important, chapter 2, right? Carpe diem. At any rate, if we work out for 15 minutes every single morning for 1 year, and we take a picture the first day and then a picture that 12th month, oh my gosh, the compound energy and actions. And so basically, it's keep it simple. Here's something else that I find quite fascinating is human behavior in our brain just overall. Okay. We remember in odd numbers, and the chances of us remembering that one thing, just go do this one thing. We're scrolling on YouTube or wherever, and we see someone go, do this one thing and it will change your life. This one thing is a game changer. But if we say two things, we're like, two, eh. And then high achievers like you and I and all of your listeners, right? They listen to you because they're picking up advice and tips from you and your guests, right? On how to achieve more with less, how to do more with less. Listen, success is by design and intention and strategy. It's not because you do more with less. But back to what I was talking about a moment ago, the brain and the remembering and odds. It is so easy to remember three things, and we do it naturally in life. So let's talk about our faith, and let's talk about our relationship with God and with Jesus Christ. It's the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Can you tell I was raised Catholic? But in business, we talk about your top three goals and objectives. Sales managers or sales leaders, executives will say, who are your top three, deals you're going to close this month, this quarter, whatever that might look like. And with children, when we're playing with them, we teach them the ABCs, or what are the ABCs, to sales, always be closing, right? And so, XYZ. one, two, three. And so simplicity scales. Think of your approach. And that's why I love the framework of the magical power of three, is because you see the more excited I get, the faster I talk and the hands come out. But keep it so simple. ABC, one, two, three. You can get more complex as the tree and the branches branch out, whatever strategic plan or brainstorming,
Right.
application or approach you put to your planning process. But again, just keep it simple. Simplicity scales.
I want to
Complexity causes you to fail.
I want to jump in here really quick because you said something so key. It was, instead of, you kind of said it without saying it. Instead of being complex, let's compound. So let's be simple and compound. So let's switch the C's, right? And so
Yeah.
we always try to think of the end in mind. And when you do that, your brain's going to short circuit because of all the things that you haven't done yet and then forget about it, right? It could be overwhelming. You're like, I don't have the money or the time or the team or whatever that may be, but it's one thing at a time. It's picking up one thing at a time, focusing on one thing at a time, and then really being able to get that down. And then you can compound from there. Like you mentioned at the gym or working out 15 minutes a day for a year, you will see results. If you start drinking, more water every day, maybe 8 ounces more every day, or you get up to a certain goal, you are going to see results. In your business, you reach out to maybe three, then five, then 10, then 15 people a day for networking, you will see some type of a result. So it's a lot of people don't want to do the simple, like rudimentary things because they want to skip to the, well, how can I start multiplying and get those results faster? But that's how you do it. You have to do the foundational pieces before you can get and build out the complex things because otherwise you won't have a foundation. You won't have the infrastructure, you won't have the resources in order to do it. And so it's funny how people's brains skip and then they get stressed about skipping when you're not supposed to skip. There's steps for a reason. And if you skip, like if you're skipping steps on on a set of stairs, you might fall. And then you have to start all over again. Because if you risk skipping some steps, you might fall, you're gonna miss some key elements and then you could slip and boop. So I love the picture that you're painting for us because it's so true where it's like right now, let's think about how we can simplify. And I know I'm having those conversations with my clients of like, yes, you could have all this pretty stuff, all these things over here that you could have
Mhm.
in your business. But first things first, what do your systems look like to get leads? How much money are you making? Like the things that actually make a business before you get all this pretty extra additional. And I see you clapping, so I know you have something to say about that. You go.
Oh no, I'm cheering you on. I'm like,
Oh,
yes, sister,
yes.
amen. Because one of the things you said, the sweet words is sales. Where is your number one focus? And so if you're a business owner, if you are an executive or a leader within an organization, no matter what your role is, you need to know what it takes to bring in a new customer or client, and then what it takes to retain them, because revenue generating activity is the number one thing I focus on for my business. And then I focus that with every client that I work with, every organization that I work with. Because when you have money coming in, when you're generating revenue, you can fix anything. You can go
Yes,
find the talent to, fill that gap. And so, yes,
that's
revenue
so true.
generating activity.
And people skip
Absolutely.
that
And
part.
compounding.
And people skip that part so often where it's like, I just want to skip to the part where people do it for me. But I look at it back, even if we scale this all the way back to stewardship. If you are going to want to build a business, you need to steward the things that you absolutely have to do them yourself so you know what it takes to a degree and then hire out and because you'll have the resources to do so. But so often people are like, well, how can I just skip this part? Again, if you skip steps, you might not have all the things that you need because you're moving too quickly. So sales, that could be a whole
Yes.
dovetail conversation. I love talking
Mm-hmm.
about sales, but this is your
Mm-hmm.
podcast. You lead us where you want to go.
No, 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 but you bring up a very valid point, and that's this. If you try to go too fast, and listen, I'm a fast personality, okay? I want it right now, which most human beings do. We want things right now. We want to do things faster. We want to get things faster, right? But when in this particular case, this is what I've lived and I've learned. Oh. the scars that I bear and the lessons that I've learned is experiences teach. And so if you haven't experienced this, like as an entrepreneur, you want to naturally you want to skip these steps. You're like, no, 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 I watched a video on YouTube and it was this, really successful entrepreneur and they're like, don't clean your own house, hire someone. Don't do your own laundry, hire someone. Go drop off your laundry. Listen, you need to, tighten the buckle, do some bootstrapping. And, I
Yes.
love doing my own laundry and I don't like folding and putting it away. But I take satisfaction in cleaning my own house. And so, again, I love doing my own marketing. I like doing my own videos. Now, there are certain components, don't get me wrong, just like the laundry. I hate folding the laundry and putting it away. It's not so much the folding, it's the putting away. It's like crap. I hate putting away
Yes.
the laundry. It's
Yes.
like dishes. I hate unloading the dishwasher. I'll be the first. I don't mind loading it, but I hate unloading it. Listen, the point that I'm making is there are certain components of your business that isn't your favorite thing to do, okay? Like folding the laundry and putting it away. Okay. However, you need to know about this. You need to do it because if you experience it, then you know what it takes to grow your business. You know what experience your customers or clients or your employees or your colleagues or your sphere of influence is going to experience.
Yes.
That's how you know what experience you want them to have. And then also, you pick the right talent and the right person that's going to give a rat's patoot about the overall experience. So
Yes.
then that way, not only that they know how to deliver it, how to create it, how to design it, and how to deliver it intentionally and strategically, but you also know how to lead them and reward them appropriately. You
Mm.
lead by example. And so, because you've experienced it, right?
Yes.
Ooh, that
I've
was
been,
good. I got
you
goosebumps with that
You
one.
have to, you have to. It's so true. People want just all the knowledge and wisdom, but you have no experience. Like you have it's hand in hand. And as we're, again, approaching the new year, what are some simple steps that people can take in order to maybe clear out some of the clutter? Like if you could think of three quick keys that people can take away from this podcast of how can you maybe clear out the clutter, keep it simple in order to evaluate when it comes to, we're obviously on the business train here. When it comes to evaluating your business, like what do I need? I know I'm constantly auditing that. Okay, if I want sales, what am I doing to get leads? What am I doing to have referrals, paid, organic? Like I have a list that I go down to see first things first. Am I doing what I need to do in order to fund and bring in these other things? Because anyways, you could spend thousands and tens of thousands on dollars when it comes to paid marketing, paid like lead generating. But what are three maybe simple things people can take away for their business to keep their brain free and clear going into 2026 instead of just like, I'm just going to leave that there in the closet or under the rug until I absolutely have to look at it after Christmas?
Hey, looking in the mirror and looking at, our activities, it's rather painful. I know. I look in the mirror and things don't look the same as they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But, thank you, Heavenly Father, for my healthy, strong, youthful body I'm going with. Okay, so what are three things? I would say the
Actually, sorry, Cynthia, I'm going to pause you really quick because your video froze.
please don't make New Year's resolutions.
Can you hear me, Cynthia? Oh
I
no,
can. Am I back?
not yet.
Nope, I'm here. I'm here. I
Hmm.
see you.
That's so interesting. You're completely
Okay,
frozen on my end. Try toggling your video on and off.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Mm, 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 mm.
I can hear you, but I can't see your video.
I'm on. Can you see me?
I can hear you, but I can't
Okay,
see
let me
your
turn it
video.
off again.
Okay, you're back.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, shall we start with me answering the question?
Give it 1 second because it's a little delayed. I don't know if it's on your end or my end, so let's just let it breathe for a second, and then we'll jump right into the three keys because that's where it started to freeze. So it was literally perfect timing to like put a pause. 'Cause it's an easy cut.
Well, look at there. See how the power of the universe and the good Lord works, right?
Yes, amen.
Is that better?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, yep. I think
We're
there's like a
good.
slight delay, but it's not bad at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and in three, two, and one.
Three keys.
So go ahead and dive into the three keys.
Okay, so I would say most importantly, number one is don't make New Year's resolutions. Ever, ever, ever. New Year's resolutions are wishes. It's like throwing a penny in a pond or, whatever that might look like. I like throwing a dime, like it's going to make a difference. But don't do that because 92% of people that make New Year's resolutions within 90 days by March 31st or March 30th, they're gone. They're right back to their old ways. So just don't do that. Number two, very importantly, is I would ask myself these three questions. And by the way, get a pen and paper and write this down. Just don't think about it. Just don't type it out. Write it down because there are some incredible studies that the impact of when we write something down. And so, question number one, what went well for me in 2025? Personally and professionally, what went well for me? Because we need to have balanced success and goals and objectives and a vision, both personally and professionally. Second question, what could have been better? What could have been better personally and professionally? And so again, you can do this bullet style, you can do this full sentences, whatever that looks like, but this way it provides you with an opportunity to really think about these questions. I always also suggest, again, I practice this, is I just don't sit down for 15 minutes and answer these questions and then I go. I actually take a few days
Mm,
and keep coming back to it because you're going to
mm.
lay in bed and go, oh, oh yeah, now I really know. Oh, that really could have been better. And
It'll
then you
all
want to
start
run and go
sinking
write it
in.
down. Yes, sink in. Yes, so you can process and think about it. Okay, now here's the third one. Real important third question to that number two. And that is, what will I do differently in 2026? How will I approach 2026 differently now that I have the answers to question number one and question number two? Okay, so that's the second key. The third key for our viewers today, my beautiful friend, is take a look at your morning routine. Very importantly, your morning routine. What are you doing? We all have a morning routine. This is the beauty of it. I'm not giving you anything new to think about or anything different yet. But our morning routine is such a game changer. Every time we open our eyes, it's a brand new opportunity to live the life that we want to live. And so, what does your morning routine look like? What are the actions that you're doing that are setting you up for success? And then what are the things that you're doing that are, yeah, are downers? For example, are you immediately getting up and looking at your phone and looking at meetings for the day? Don't do that. Don't do that. Pray first. Pray first. Speak to him first. Set yourself up for success because if you want discernment, if you want wisdom, if you want guidance,
Yes.
ask him. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And
Mm.
so those are my three keys.
Beautiful. I wrote down those questions because it's like always a great reminder of, yes, I do need to dig into this because I pretty much start planning for 2026 in like October. My brain's already going there, but it's like, well, wait a second. I'm huge on reflection, but sometimes even somebody who loves reflection will forget simple yet profound and intentional questions like this to actually take an assessment rather than like, oh, the year's over, let's just skedoodle on by. Well, even if it was a really hard year, really dig into that to see why was it hard? What did we learn? How did we grow? What do we want out of this 2026, this new year that's on the horizon? So such powerful questions. Now, I know as we're coming into like the last few minutes of wrapping up here, gosh, I love those keys. I love those so much. So I really hope everybody wrote those down and press pause, go replay, listen to it again. Tell us, Cynthia, a little bit about, I know you wrote this book and you've been just explaining so well of how you literally embody the power of three, right? Like we think in odd numbers, we can attach to one or three. In the business world, it's always great to have three offers because people have options to choose from, not overwhelming. So I would love for you to just to share a little bit more about your book. Of course, we can see a little bit in the show notes of what that book looks like, where you can go get it, and anything else that you would love to kind of leave us with today, as you've dropped some amazing keys and just wisdom on how to just charge towards that finish line for 2025, but set up 2026 with some great, great intention.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to share a little bit
Yeah.
about why the magical power of three. Why write a book
Mhm.
about the number three? You know what I mean? What do you mean there's a framework? Um, I found myself in my late 30s asking these legacy questions. What generational legacy am I leaving behind? Remember, six kids. Hubby and I, we have six children, five girls and a boy. And at some point, I'll have to share with you the five wise women and the man. But at any rate, um, I started asking these questions. I've accomplished all of these different things. I've gone to college. I've got these certifications. I have these different experiences. I have additional things that I want to go after. But, I feel like there's this glass ceiling. How do I get to the next level? And so then that's when I launched my own company, from encouragement, from client, from friends. I'll be your first client. And then as time progresses, that feeds the animal a little bit. And then as I become an empty nester, then I'm trying to figure out, you see where I'm going with this, just different phases in my life.
Hmm.
And so that's what made me write The Magical Power of Three, is I started applying different in prayer, asking for discernment and guidance. It's funny what happens when you actually listen to him,
Oh, yes.
the experiences that we have and, the opportunities that present themselves. But at any rate, fast forward, I'm applying through my consulting business, Black Ring Partners, and then I go out on my own. The girls go their way, and I say that respectively. My beautiful girls go their way. And over the years, well over a decade, I'm applying things in my personal life for myself, the framework of the magical power of three, and then like the questions that I shared with you. And then also in working with clients, and we're experiencing some incredible successes in each of our own right, because success is the definition that we find in Webster. Okay, there's that definition, but the definition for each and every one of us is unique. My definition is different from yours. I'm in a different phase
Yes.
in life. Even a woman that's 59 years old and born, we have different definitions. And so, you know, that's what made me write the book is I've lived it, I've applied it. And so I was inspired by my faith and my relationship with God and Jesus and realizing that life does come with a manual. Kids come with a manual, and it's called the Bible.
Right there
It's
for
the
everyone to
book.
read. Yes.
It's the truth. And so, anyway, I've pulled principles from literally from the Bible and just simple things in life that make sense and easy things that we can apply to drive success in our own lives.
Beautiful. Well, I love it. That there's so much wisdom in everything that you've shared today. A lot of that wisdom inside of that book. Just so many great keys and just nuggets for people to take and to wrap up this year with reflection, intention to launch into 2026 and really take it by the reins. Not let things happen to you, but be proactive in 2026. So, Cynthia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. You've just been an absolute joy. This has been so much fun, and I'm just grateful for you for just your intentionality on this show and just how you show up daily. Thank you so much for joining me on the It's Bigger Than Me podcast. If this episode spoke to you, go share it. Someone else needs the breakthrough that you just had. And don't forget to tag me on social media. I would love to reshare what spoke to you the most on this episode. Your story is meant to be mentorship to somebody else, it's meant to move others. Don't keep it quiet. Go lead with it. Until next time, keep showing up and keep sharing what matters.